Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a monster analysis on Ugluk. This is the up and coming brand new Earth legendary monster and let me tell you, he is quite amazing. Let's jump right into the analysis. So this monster has a life of 34,080, which honestly isn't necessarily that high. In the Earth category, this is the 12th highest stat, so there are plenty of monsters that are tankier than him. However, this monster boasts a pretty impressive power of 3685. Move over, radar. Well, not quite yet, but they are coming for you. These monsters that are being released, they are having a really high power stat. So in every single monster in the game, this is the 6th highest power stat, tied with Stake Rogue and Lucifer the Hope Freezer. In only the Earth category specifically, this is the 2nd highest stat. It would have been the highest stat if it wasn't for Hyperia, who recently got released, who has a power stat of 3762. However, Hyperia is a tank and can't really utilize that high power stat. Whereas this monster, on the other hand, this monster is really going to utilize that power stat, and you are going to be blown away by some of the skills. So incredible power stat, pretty good life stat, and then a speed stat of 3476. And in the Earth category, this is actually quite fast. It's the 4th highest stat, tied with a bunch of monsters like Hydratilla the Riftmaker, Hiram the Tenacious, Bellading, Stingwest Claw, Wolfgang, Tessaday, and Gaia Nova. So he's up there with some of the other fast Earth monsters in the game. With that being said, what makes this monster truly stand out is the fact that he has an evolving trait. And I mean, just about every monster released nowadays has a revolving trait, but even unranked, he's really good. He cannot be controlled. He can't get hit with control skills. No stun, no freeze, no possession, and that is unranked. And then when you take him a step further, when you rank him up just one rank to level 105, you start the game off with quicksands against the enemy. That alone I think is phenomenal. Imagine you partner up Ugluk with with Dragar, with Sherlock. Dragar does Sunburn at the start of the battle, Sherlock does Ignition, and Ugluk does Quicksand. That is 3 DOTs immediately at the start of the battle. That is ridiculous. Like, you can probably get denied, you can probably just recharge, and the enemy will die on the second turn. It is insane. But yeah, we finally have an area of Quicksands. That is quite cool. And then if you get this monster to rank 3, you get Tough. So now you have a 35% chance to not get hit with anything. And I mean, already you can't get hit with control skills. So this Tough is really protecting you against the blind, the daze, and the DOTs, which is just amazing. Oh, and let's talk about Relics. First of all, this monster can hold the Sword Relic, which is absolutely perfect for your attackers. You know, you give them the Jakugan Sword, you're doing some nice damage to all the enemy monsters. And you can hold the Essence Relic, which is really great for healing. And if you happen to have the Rival Essence, if you kill this monster, he is coming back with a vengeance, with a full skill set ready to use against you. And speaking of which, let's get into the skill set. But first of all, I should mention, he's a dragon monster, he's in the families, and he is in the villains book. Alright, so tier 1, Rotten Shield. He removes the shield from one enemy and applies immediate quicksand, and you get an extra turn. It's a very nice extra turn skill. Extra turn skills also essentially minimize the cooldown on other skills, so maybe depending on whether you have this monster ranked or not, you could potentially run this shield. If you're facing other Earth monsters, it's a really great way to get rid of their shields. For example, if you're taking on the General, who gives a whole full life shield to his team, nope, I'll take away your shield, I'll give you quicksand in case you got rid of it, and I get an extra turn. Quicksand's Trap is the next skill. Deals moderate earth damage to an enemy, applies quicksand to an enemy, applies poison. So this is just capitalizing on the DOT. You reapply that quicksand if you're not rank 1, and then you add a poison on top of that. This skill also has no cooldown, so you can use it whenever. Moving on, we also have Ugluk, which removes 30% of total life from one enemy. So this is probably the best against a really tanky monster, especially if it's an earth tank. You know, because if you have some, well, I haven't even seen, yeah, moderate earth damage, the other one doesn't deal any damage. So because you're an earth monster taking on an earth tank, you know, you might have trouble dealing some damage, so why not just take 30% of total life? Personally, I don't think you're ever going to need to run this skill, but who knows, it's there, it's an option, it's available. Moving on to tier 2 skills, we have Shoulder Hits, deals moderate physical damage. We have not seen that in a skill that isn't a default skill. So deals moderate physical damage, and you give 1 extra turn to yourself. So 30 damage, 3 turn cooldown. Again, it's not elemental based, it's not even special based, it's physical damage. So again, 30 damage, you give yourself an immediate extra turn. Alright, 3 turn cooldown. So potentially could also be worth running. And I have to check, because I'm wondering if this skill would get reflected, because I don't know, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some, maybe this was in old Monster Legends where the physical damage could actually bypass like skill mirror or mirror or something, or I could be totally wrong, but that's worth exploring. Drowning your own blood, this sounds like it'd be a bleed skill. deals heavy special damage to an enemy, applies bleed to all enemies, applies drown to all enemies. What the heck? That is a ridiculous AoE skill. Well, it's technically not even an AoE. You literally target a single monster. So you deal damage to a single monster, and you give everyone bleeding and drowned. Bleeding and drowned, phenomenal. That is great. Like, drown is a stamina leaking DOT, and then bleed reduces damage output. And again, if you start the game off with quicksand, the whole enemy team, just with your monster alone in one turn, the enemy monster could have bleeding, could have drowned, and could have quicksand. What the heck? And it's a 45 damage AoE with a 1 turn cooldown, and it's special based. It's not even earth based damage. What in the world? That is crazy. That is crazy good. How's that tier 2? What the heck is going to happen in tier 3 and tier 4? I forgot to mention this is an elite monster, so there's a tier 4 skill set. Oh my goodness. Let us move on. Oh wow. Siege Finisher. Removes shields from an enemy, deals massive special damage. We have a 70 damage spammable skill. Special base skill. Not even earth base skill. Special base skill. What the heck? And it removes shield. So if the monster thinks they're protected with a shield, nope. Bye bye shield. Let me deal some massive special base damage. And this is like Hukuai, who has a powerful 70 damage skill. How much stamina does this costs? No stamina. This is literally copied from Hukuai, who has a 70 damage water-based attack that he can spam whenever. Well, this skill costs no stamina, has no cooldown, so you literally always have a skill set you can use. This monster has a high power stat. You have the books on your side. You start the game off with quicksand. Oh my goodness, that is powerful. That is ridiculously powerful. Massive special damage. Wow. Even Hukuai is water-based, so against water monsters, that's an elemental disadvantage. But here you just have pure raw special damage. Combine that with shoulder hit. You know, you can do shoulder hit, deal some damage, 30 damage, and then finish them off with finisher. I see why it's called finisher. That is crazy, and we're barely in tier 2 skills. Let's move on. Tier 3. Poison Ground deals moderate earth damage to all enemies, applies quicksand to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies, requires cooldown. So another AoE skill. So here, this is what's interesting to me. So drowning your blood is, well, I guess it's not an AoE, right? It's, oh yeah, it's single target, but it's AoE bleed effect and AoE drowned effect. And then Poison Ground, okay, that's AoE earth with AoE quicksand and poison. So I don't think you'll be using that often. I think most of the time, drowning your blood is going to be superior. Let us move on. Furious Flail of Fates removes 50% of total life from one enemy, applies a 20% life shield to itself. So, and this is actually metal based, not even, what the heck? So it's not earth based, it's metal based. This monster has all types of skills. So it's a better version of tier 1, where that just removes 30% of total life, because this one has a 2 turn cooldown, so just like Bite from tier 1, except you even give yourself a shield, which adds to your tankiness. That's pretty awesome. And 50% total life, that's half of the HP gone. And then, the cool thing is, how many extra turn skills have we seen on this monster? Rotten shields and shoulder hits. So you can literally do, you can essentially almost cycle back to it. So that's pretty awesome. Let us keep going. Battering Lizard applies Taunt Hater to itself. Applies double damage to itself. Applies precision to itself. Gives anticipation to itself. And this skill also has no cooldown. And no stamina cost. So you can literally do this whenever. So if you're facing a monster that has extra turn skills, you can literally prep yourself up with the anticipation. You're going to have increased accuracy. You're going to have double damage. And then Taunt Hater. So if you're taking on any taunt monsters, Brutalis is going to get wrecked by this monster. Doesn't matter that they're both earth-based. This monster's strongest attacks are special-based. Taunt Hater's triple damage, so Finisher would be 210 damage. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to test this monster out and just kill Brutalis left and right. That is ridiculous. So any taunt monster. Baylor too. Wait, no, Baylor doesn't have taunt. He has skills that can taunt. I wonder if a monster gives himself taunt if the Taunt Hater... Yes, it will. If a monster uses taunt on themselves, the Taunt Hater will take effect. I wonder if this includes Megataunt. Because if that's the case, Dunraw, Mephisto, they have to be worried. If not, it's really just Brutalis and Clipium right now. So this is going to be interesting to see. Applies precision to the top, gives anticipation. This is so awesome. It's a really great setup skill that you can literally utilize if you have no stamina. And here's the cool thing. Even if you get your stamina drained, right? Normally what sucks is like, even if you do a setup skill, you need some way to recover your stamina. This monster doesn't care about that. You can do Battering Lizard if you got your stamina drained. Let's suppose you fought a General Thetis with a Brutalis with some of the monster. Thetis goes and drains your stamina. You can do Battering Lizard to set up, and then when it's your turn again, even though you have 0 stamina, you can do Siege Finisher because it costs no stamina and just deal massive amounts of damage against a Brutalis. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So far, I love the skill set. I mean, I think it goes without saying, you run Drown in Your Own Blood, you run Finisher, you run Shoulder Hits, and then that final skill, it's really up to you, I would say. It's really up to you. But let's talk about tier 4 skills. So this is once you start ranking up. We have Ancestor's Bite, removes 30% of total life from all enemies, applies a 20% life shield. So now we have a dark-based attack. So 2 turn cooldown, 37 stamina cost. Okay, so this is going to be a killer against Megaton monsters. If you saw my video, the previous video I did, you would kind of see how this works. Against a Megaton monster, because they absorb all the damage, that 30% of total life from all enemies is going to be targeted 3 times against the Megaton monster. So instantly, they're going to lose 90% of their life. And keep in mind, if this monster is ranked up and you have Quicksand, when you factor in the Quicksand, which if I'm not mistaken is 15% of total life, and then Ancestor's Bite, it is a OTK against any Megaton monster. So any Dunroll that has 3 life runes, anything really, any Mephistos, automatic kill thanks to your Quicksand and thanks to your Ancestor's Bite. That is ridiculously powerful. Wow, that is so darn impressive. I am absolutely mind blown. And even if for some reason they block against Quicksand, or maybe they have a relic that'll trigger before they die, keep in mind that you have other skills you can do. For example, maybe you go ahead and do shoulder hits, deal that 30 physical damage, right? Deal that 30 physical damage, drop them, if they lose 10% of their HP, Ancestor's Bite, bye-bye done raw. That is so darn impressive. That is ridiculously impressive to me, wow. And this is at tier 1. This is, or at rank 1. You don't even have to fully rank this monster. And again, you can't be controlled, so you always have like a guaranteed attack in. Even if you get total blinded, like, total blind can't even stop you because you have extra turn skills. So, a monster could total blind you, you don't really care about that, to be completely honest. If you get hit with CDA, and you're running Battering Lizard, you could set up for your next attack. What in the world? Alright, let's keep going. Reptilian Ram removes shields from all enemies, deals heavy special damage to all enemies, applies bleed to all enemies. Honestly, this is probably one of the lamest skills I've seen. Sorry, Reptilian Ram. Shield remove, I guess, again, if you're facing a general, he gives his whole team a full life shield. I guess removing the shield would be nice, and it is a 45 special based AoE, and it is bleeding, but that's kind of on the lame side, I would say. Ancestral Flail Swing deals moderate metal damage to one. Oh my gosh, this monster has metal damage too. That actually deals damage. Mega Stun to one enemy, moderate metal damage to all enemies. Okay, so, oh wait, this goes actually powerful then. So, 30 metal based damage to one monster. Mega Stun that one monster, really great against dodge area monsters, right? Not against a Wormlad, unfortunately, because he's immune to stun. But maybe an O'Reilly. O'Reilly's immune to possession. You can Mega Stun possession, immobilize him for 2 turns, and deal some metal damage against him, and also deal some metal damage to everyone else. Pretty cool. I like that skill. Flail Swing, really great skill. And then your last taunt applies Taunt Hater to itself, deals massive special damage to one enemy, removes Taunt Hater from itself, 1 extra turn. We have our 3rd extra turn skill. So this monster has 3 extra turn skills. Okay, so then you can start planning around and doing some synergy here. Wow. Taunt Hater to itself. So, I like this because this monster does not care if there is a taunt monster in the game. If it's a Mega Taunt monster, fine, he'll kill you. If it's a taunt monster, if you're facing Brutalis, honestly, that Taunt Hater, and again, it's special damage, not even earth damage, you can probably OTK, I don't know, maybe you can OTK? If they have a shield, you know you have shields to remove. Like, Rotten Shields, removes shields from when enemy applies Quicksand, doesn't deal any damage, so no relics will trigger. So get rid of the shield, and then, bam, your last taunt. Kill the monster, OTK the monster, you get yet another turn, and then you can do Finisher to probably OTK another monster. Oh, for example, let's say you run your last taunt, shoulder hit, Finisher, and what else? Maybe one of your, maybe Drown in Your Blood or something. So, assuming your last taunt OTKs the Brutalis, then you can shoulder hit the another monster and finish off that monster. You took down 2 enemy monsters. This monster is powerful. This is the definition of a must-have monster. This monster is ridiculous. Get yourself an Uriel's Essence, give it on this monster. Even if you kill him, if he comes back, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Like, wow. I am absolutely mind blown. I just can't, like, the fact that you can 30 Ancestor's Bite, just 30% of total life. against a Megaton monster, 90% of their life. You start the game off with Quicksand. The fact that you can shoulder hit to deal some extra damage. The fact that he has 2 skills that cost no cooldown, that cost no stamina cost. One of them you give yourself anticipation so you can counter extra turn monsters even. Insane. This monster is insane. The ultimate attack, Flowcopter, removes positive effects. Bye-bye evasion, bye-bye skill mirror, bye-bye everything. Okay, awesome. And it deals insane earth damage, 90 damage. Absolutely ridiculous. It goes without saying, this is by far one of the best monsters we've seen in 2019. SocialPoint is really stepping it up more than we've already seen. You can even counter dodge area. This monster is ridiculous. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this monster? I am super excited to see your guys' thoughts. With that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to reading your guys' comments, so please fill the comment section with any thoughts about this monster. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time.